You know that one friend who's just super good at something, but no one knows they're really good at that one thing? But you know, and they know, but nobody else knows? Well, that's Snow the Product. Snow the Product is a rapper from San Jose, California. Snow the Product is essentially what you get when you mix Cardi B with the lyrical capabilities of Eminem and sprinkle a little bit of logic in there. So needless to say, this girl can rap. If you've already heard of Snow the Product, you've most likely heard Myself, because that's kind of been her biggest, most recent song, really. Not to mention it featured Drum, so, big name feature, it's gonna get a lot of looks. If it wasn't Myself that brought you to Snow the Product, or introduced her to you, it may have been Wasted Time. A slightly older track, no features, just herself. That's kind of her other, most popular song. But let me tell you this. Once you go down the rabbit hole of Snow the Product, you start to hear lyrics a different way. Her average tempo is not exactly like Eminem tempo. It's slightly below that. But on average, she's usually rapping, she's usually going pretty hard. And that's on average. Sometimes she slows it down, sometimes she goes in a little bit harder, but on average, her normal tempo is pretty high. Like, no cap, for real. Like, listening to her songs back to back to back, you start to get super accustomed to hearing her just going in on these tracks. So when you hear something else, it starts to feel slow to you almost. Snow kind of strikes me as a rapper who excels more in her verses than her hooks, but she can most definitely hold down a hook on her own. Tracks like Nights, Problems all have perfectly catchy hooks by Snow, and she still always finds a way to kill the verses just fine. I think her verse on Immigrants off the Hamilton mixtape, and yes, she was on the mixtape for Hamilton. I think her verse on there does a good job of illustrating my next point. Snow the Product is bilingual, and she shows that in her rapping. She seamlessly flows between English and Spanish and makes it seem so effortless. In all reality, it probably plays into her benefit because now she has almost twice the words, twice the rhyme choice, you know what I'm saying? But, that it's both a benefit to her as well as it is kind of a challenge to be able to switch between languages on the fly, but she makes it seem easy almost. Listen to this real quick.
Honestly, it's pissing me off. Have you seen this thing with the Tide Pods? How there's actually people out there who go to the extent of eating them. And I think it started from this internet joke of, oh, they look like Gushers, with the juice in the inside. And I love me some Gushers. The way they bust in your mouth, pause, unmistakable. No other candy like it. And now people, I guess, in jest, want to simulate the Gusher thing by eating the damn Tide Pod, and it's stupid as fuck.
That's why I kind of likened her to Cardi B at the beginning of the video, because Cardi B seems to really be embracing her heritage in her music, and Snow is doing the same. One of the most defining parts about Snow the Product, apart from her music side, is how transparent and upfront she truly is with her audience. Her YouTube channel, Woke TV, where she posts all of her music and videos and whatnot, also has a series where she vlogs her tour. There aren't a lot of rappers that do things like this, vlogging their tour. That's honestly such a simple concept, but it's so revolutionary because it's not done by any big rappers. It humanizes her, it brings her down to earth, it shows you her humorous side, it introduces you to her family, her crew, you know. It's a huge positive because it shows you a side of her that not many rappers get to show their fan base. The one gripe that I can say I have with Snow the Product, I don't know how to word it exactly. She kind of blends into the background. Anytime that I hear people saying that we lack female rappers or female rappers aren't getting enough recognition, Snow the Product always comes to mind. Because she has immense talent, but I feel like she doesn't stand out quite enough for people to pull her into the mainstream. She most definitely has the ability to be a mainstream artist, but I don't know if she has the appeal. Nowadays, mainstream music thrives off being easy to digest and up front and in your face, but Snow the Product's music isn't in your face very much. It's hard to describe. Like, let me give you an example. Snow the Product has a bunch of music out. The only problem is you kind of have to search for it a little bit. Currently on her Spotify, if you look in her section of albums, the only thing listed is Halfway There Part 1. But in fact, she has multiple projects that are out that you can find on YouTube, but they're not listed on Spotify. I mean, I guess we have some of the biggest songs on her Spotify, but I feel like in order to really have the most substance that she could, she kind of needs more on her Spotify right now. Now, she is on tour right now, so it's understandable that right now this is kind of what we've got on here. And yeah, I could go and look up and find her older music on the YouTubes and whatnot, but that's the thing. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I have to go and look for it. It's not right here. And for the average listener, if I have to go and look for your music, I'm most likely not going to hear it. This can even be said about her collaborative mixtape Vibe Higher that she did with Castro Escobar, Lex the Great, AJ Hearns. I have no idea who any of these people are, but you know, even this project can really only be found on YouTube. I just did a search, can't find it on Spotify, can't find it on Apple Music. I haven't tried Tidal, but I'm assuming you can't find it there either. It just doesn't strike me as a good marketing strategy. At first glance, you think, oh, well, at least that funnels all of her listeners, all of their listeners actually, because if there are 4 artists on this same mixtape, it funnels all of these listeners to the same YouTube channel where all of this content is being posted, vlogs, music. It funnels everyone into the same place, so it gives them an easy way of digesting everything. However, the current music industry, I feel like, I'm no expert, but the current music industry is kind of focused on streams. And YouTube plays are great, but Spotify's kind of killing the game right now. So with this mixtape not being on Spotify, I feel like that's a huge hit to a lot of potential plays and potential new listeners. I feel like this is part of what might be keeping her from reaching the mainstream. And I mean, I guess success isn't always measured in reaching the mainstream, but I, as a fan of Snow the Product, would like to see her get some mainstream attention, simply because I do believe she has a lot of talent, but isn't being recognized nearly as much as she should be. And there's a lot of trash rappers out right now, and Snow the Product isn't one of them. So she should, theoretically, be getting at least the same amount of attention, if not more, than the rest of these trash rappers. But doesn't always go that way. Isn't that right, Yachty? No shade, no tea. If this is your first time hearing about Snow the Product and you want to get into her, my suggestions would be, obviously myself is always a safe bet, just to gauge whether you're interested or not. But if you want to go a little bit deeper than that, she's got a song with OT Genesis called Help a Bitch Out, her song with PNB Rock, Alright, or her song off the Vibe Higher mixtape, For Real, with AJ Hearns. All solid choices. And if you like those, then you'll probably like the rest of her music.